Hi, I'm Mike Glenn. I'm Senior Pastor of Brentwood Baptist Church, and I'm glad to join you on this very hot day in September. I don't know where you are, but the fall in the South is just an extended summer. We're glad that you're here, and thank you for joining us. If you like what we're doing, hit subscribe or like, and we would appreciate that very much. I'd like to kind of change things up today and talk to those of you who watch who are on staff of local churches. A lot of us have heard the news about Jared Wilson and other pastors who have, from all we know, committed suicide. And it has been a difficult thing for a lot of us to process. One, Jared was very successful by all of the things that we use to mark success. He was writing books. He was a well-sought-after speaker. He was an insightful young man and did a lot of creative and very good work. And so a lot of us watch his life and career and go, wow, if I can only get there. Well, he was there. And so whatever we think is there may not be. Listen, we all know that what we do is really hard. And it's hard for all kinds of different reasons. I was joking with my church yesterday. We're going through some changes here at Brentwood Baptist Church. And one of the changes is we've changed our bulletin, and that we're not printing as many bulletins as we used to print. And the ones we do print are just kind of half-sheet kind of things with just the basic information. All the other information has gone on the website. And so we tell everybody, go to the website. Everything you want to know is there. So, and one trip down the hall, I get yelled at because we're not printing bulletins, and they want to have a bulletin, and they want the big bulletin back with all the church information on it. And then I get yelled at again for why are we printing bulletins at all, because we're wasting paper. So in a matter of 10 or 15 steps, I get yelled at for the same issue but on different issues. And you know, if you're not careful, a church will drive you just nuts. Listen, we deal in high-stress situations. We deal with families when they are most vulnerable. When they don't know who else to call, they call us. And usually that means somebody's sick, somebody's dying, somebody's angry, somebody's hurt. And so we get put in messes just because we are who we are. And then we get blamed because we were in that mess with those people. Have you ever had that happen? Parents bring you in to help with a child who is addicted or something, so you help them get into a rehab center, and the child begins to get in touch with their own anger, and now he's mad at his parents, and the parents blame you for putting him in the rehab center. Yeah, that happens. So what do? How do you keep your sanity in what can be a not-so-sane situation? One, you can realize that the local church is the only place that opens a door and admits everybody and doesn't charge admission. So anybody can come in, everybody can come in. And you get a different kind of people sometimes when you open the door and invite everybody in, which means you have to be really intentional about taking care of your own mental health. Now, what do we do to do that? One, you get proper rest. You do know that sleep deprivation is a form of torture. And one of the things that happens when you don't sleep well is you lose the ability to think clearly. Yeah, literally, it makes you nuts, okay? You can keep Sabbath. Now, obviously, Sunday's a work day for most of us, and so the Sabbath doesn't work, but you need to find one day a week where you unplug. Now, don't make a big announcement. Announce to everybody, I'm going to have Sabbath on Tuesday, because everybody and their brother will call you on that day. Just simply unplug. Voicemail is a wonderful thing, and you can call back and answer back at an appropriate time, but you need at least 24 hours where you unplug and you get your rest and you're allowed to think about things clearly without interruption. To spend time with your family, spend time with your spouse, spend time with your children. The other thing you need to do is spend some serious time in prayer. And I don't mean now and lay me down to sleep kind of prayers. I mean some honest prayers like Jeremiah prayed, like Moses prayed. Are you aware of your people? Do you see what they're doing? I sometimes don't like being a pastor. Yeah, that kind of honest praying. And if you hadn't prayed like that, well, hang on, you will. But that kind of honesty where you can just unload the burden in the presence of Christ and allow him to bring strength and healing to your life, so that you don't go back to the church and start looking for their approval or their pat on the back. And that gets into its own narcissistic and neurotic kind of relationship. You can have healthy friendships. Now, they may or may not be within the church. I've had both. I've had great friends within the church, and I have had great friends outside of the church. But you need to have a couple of people that, excuse the French here, but I call them cussing buddies. They're buddies you can call and say whatever you want to say, and after you have finished saying it, they don't think any less of you. They just know you're venting. So you need a buddy you can say, hey, I'm going back to law school. I'm quitting the church. You need somebody who will say, yeah, okay, now what you preaching on Sunday, and kind of get you back to reality. But understand, this is a long journey, and this is a marathon. When Elijah was being chased by Jezebel, God gave him three things when Elijah ran in the wilderness. One, he gave him rest. He let Elijah sleep. Two, he gave him bread, fresh cooked bread and water. He gave him nourishment. That's your Bible and prayer time. And the last thing he gave him was Elisha. He gave him a friend. Life's too hard to do by yourself. You need to be in community. One or two guys who can hang with you and walk with you to make sure you're taking care of yourself and being honest with yourself and doing the things necessary so you can be your best you. You are important to a lot of people. And I'll leave you with this last reminder. Remember when you're on an airplane and the stewardess says, in case of emergencies, the oxygen mask will fall down, and you are to put yours on first and then take care of your child or take care of your spouse. A lot of us intuitively would put the mask on our child first, but if you're not careful, both of you will pass out. And then what happens? The best thing you can do for your church, the best thing you can do for your ministry, is to take care of yourself so that you're always ministering out of the overflow of Christ in you. That's what they need from you most. And that takes a little intentionality and a little focus, but it's the best thing for everybody. I'm Mike Glenn, and I'm the senior pastor of Brentwood Baptist Church. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube. Hit subscribe and like on your way out, and I'll see you next time.